Good morning, I'm Tamara Shoemaker. Today's post is going to just be short and sweet. I have a love-hate relationship with diets. I understand that there's some kind of some pushback against the diet mentality, that there's just too much focus on weight and on what the number is on your bathroom scale rather than being healthy. And, I get it. It makes perfect sense, right? Healthy living, healthy eating, making healthy choices, living a healthy lifestyle, those are all important. The problem is I have all the brain knowledge in the world, right? If somebody puts a chocolate chip cookie in front of me, it doesn't matter how much I want to keep my healthy lifestyle. I eat the cookie. That's my problem. That's not, the diet mentality problem. Side note, I have a weakness for cookies and chocolate. I don't necessarily have a sweet tooth per se, because you can put a bag of, Jolly Ranchers in front of me or Laffy Taffy or something. And those just don't appeal to me. I'll ignore those all day long. But soft-baked cookies, I can't leave those alone. So here's an example from a few weeks ago. Somebody had brought us a container of chocolate chip cookie bars. And our family each had one for dessert, and then there was enough left over for the next day's dessert as well. And so the next afternoon, I wandered by the container on my way through the kitchen. I slowed down. I stopped as my taste buds just went into overdrive. Chocolate would taste so good right then. I just needed chocolate right then. I didn't need to wait for supper. Why would I wait for supper? I should eat one right now. And then if one of the kids decided they wanted something different for dessert, well then, hey, I might even get 2 cookies in a single day. On the other hand, I wasn't hungry. I didn't need it. I'd already had a few not so healthy things that morning, sweet cereal, and I shouldn't. I reached for the container. I really shouldn't pop the lid off. I don't need this. I picked up a cookie. It's not even warm, Tamara. Don't waste your cookie opportunity on a cold cookie. I stuck that cookie in my mouth, chewed, swallowed, ate the rest of it. And it was okay. With every bite, I mentally scolded myself. Why am I doing this? Why did I give in? Why am I still eating it? Oh, here comes another bite. Why am I doing this? So, to be clear, I don't think that eating cookies is, bad or wrong. My mom used to say everything in moderation, right? And it's an echo of what Paul himself said in 1 Corinthians 10:23. Everything is permissible, but not everything is beneficial. Everything is permissible, but not everything is constructive. So I certainly was allowed to have that cookie. There was no law against it, but I didn't need that cookie. And I felt so guilty about it because I'd already made up my mind not to eat it. And then I ate it anyway. Right? And all the while, I was telling myself to stop. Anybody else feeling this with me? The thing is, it's not just a battle against cookies. This problem encapsulates the human experience because it's a battle with sin. Not so much, eating the cookies, but struggling to not do the things that we want to do or don't want to do. So Paul describes all my frustration with this battle in Romans chapter 7, verses 14 to 20. He says, "We know that the law is spiritual, but I am unspiritual, sold as a slave to sin." Ouch. "I do not understand what I do, for what I want to do, I do not do, but what I hate to do. And if I do what I do not want to do, I agree that the law is good. As it is no longer I myself who do it, but it is sin living in me." So quickly diving in here, Paul's not saying that we're free of moral responsibility, as we point to sin and say, sin made me do it. Rather, he's saying sin is so much a part of us that we are bound to it, utterly and absolutely and irrevocably tied to it, except. He's building up to something big here, but hang on, we're getting there. So Paul goes on, "I know that nothing good lives in me, that is, in my sinful nature. For I have the desire to do what is good, but I cannot carry it out. For what I do is not the good that I want to do. No, the evil I do not want to do. This I keep on doing. Now, if I do what I do not want to do, it is no longer I who do it, but it is sin living in me that does it." Again, sin nature. This is the passage that wraps up with 1,000 do's, the human experience. Paul exclaims in Romans chapter 7, verse 24, "What a wretched man I am! Who will rescue me from this body of death?" I felt almost like there should be a drum roll here, at the very least, a da, 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 right? He answers his own question in the very next sentence. "Thanks be to God through Jesus Christ our Lord." Jesus rescues us from this body of death. We are tied to sin, except we cannot escape sin but Jesus. Jesus, who broke the power of sin and darkness that reigns in our bodies, who shattered that power when he died on the cross. He freed us from the power of sin in our lives, and we are free. But that's tomorrow's chapter when we go to Romans chapter 8. And I'm excited about that because that is my favorite chapter, hands down, in the book of Romans. My senior year in high school, we had to memorize that chapter. And I'm so thankful that my teacher made me do that because it's an awesome chapter. It's got so many good parts to it. So I'm excited to go through it. I will see you tomorrow.